Nothing says family bonding like clapping cheeks in the same room. This week's Reddit story proves that some people treat shared rooms like private hotels.
Wait. Matt, hold up. What are we doing?
Can we go out?
Because the hit. Yeah.
Cut that. But save it.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 53 of the Amateur Hour podcast. Matt,
What's up?
I haven't seen you in forever.
Who is this guy? Who's this?
It's been like 2 weeks.
Who is this guy?
And then 7 months.
And then 7 months
and
before
then 7
that.
months before that.
Yes, welcome back. Everybody, welcome back, Angel. He was gone for a little bit. Obviously, as you can see, as the last episode.
Yeah.
I didn't really touch on it. I didn't feel like people really needed to know.
Do you just want to straight get into it?
I mean, we can.
Top of episode?
We can. But today, tell them what we're doing today, besides that.
Well, we're just chatting. We caught up 2 weeks ago, but just barely, because that's when
You were able to come out the house.
I was able to come out the house. We'll get a little bit more into it, but even our catch up hasn't been. It wasn't too much, and also, even prior, like you have to remember the episodes that we released, they were already pre-recorded, so we haven't technically. I haven't done this in like almost 9.
The last actual episode we recorded was there was 2. The one that didn't come out was technically the last one we did.
Yes.
But the one before that was the Halloween special.
Yes.
So at the very least, at the end of October.
Yeah. A couple of weeks before Halloween.
Yeah. So that's a while.
Yeah.
That's a while. Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. We also have a Reddit story that we're gonna get to in a little bit. Angel found a funny little one that I do want to hear.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, I kind of wanted to talk about where you've been at. I didn't tell people because I didn't really feel like it was my place to tell people. I just didn't know if you wanted that stuff like broadcasted to people, like without. I don't know. It was your personal stuff that you're going through, and I didn't think it was my place to be like, well, this happened, and then he's not gonna be here, or he will be here. Like it was a lot of stuff in the air that I just was like, let's not even.
Yeah.
So where were you?
Home.
Just abandoned us.
Yeah. Just home. It would be one thing, Matt, if only one thing happened. It was like one thing happened, and it was a chain of events for a lot of things to happen. So the big thing was Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
I was working at my job Thanksgiving Day, as people usually, unfortunately, are forced to do. And like almost everybody in corporate America, I wanted to get the fuck out of there as soon as I could.
You can. Yeah, of course.
So much so that I was speeding to my car, and you know the little red paint on the edge of like sidewalks or curbs or things like that?
The to not parking, like the no parking? Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Have you ever stepped on one of those?
Yeah, it's a little slippery.
Have you ever stepped on those when it has slightly rained?
No. Did it rain that day?
It was in the period where, like where it was kind of raining but kind of not, and only for a little bit of hours. There was just like clouds and stuff like that. That morning, that's what happened. And so it wasn't like pouring rain. It was just there was enough like water collects, right?
Yeah.
So there was like
a puddle.
Slightly.
At least on the curb.
The surface there was no tension, like you
no friction.
No friction. That's the word. And so I made the mistake to step on it. Oof. And I also made the mistake to fall on it. I'm a big guy, Matt. So me falling out of nowhere is already shaky. That's how the Grand Canyon happened the first time.
Oh shit.
But basically, stepped with my left foot, Matt. My legs shot out this way, but my knee stayed in the same position, and I fell directly down.
Oof. So you felt your knee bent inward?
Huh?
It went inward or outward?
No, inward. So my knee, basically, if you line up my knee with my shoulder, that's usually like where your knee falls, it stayed in one place. What flew out was the leg. So how do I show you?
I don't know. Show me.
Yeah, and I just do it to you. I can't show you because your body's not supposed to do that. But
like his knee went in, like
and knee stayed here, leg went this way, fell down. I heard the pop and the crunch that you do not want to hear in life.
The pop is bad enough. The pop could be anything.
The pop could be anything. The pop could be a dislocation at best. The pop could just be a bone fart. You know?
Who knows? You know.
Right, but it was the crunch. You never want crunch is never good. And so I've talked about it before. I not grew up, but my latter half of school years in high school, I played football.
Yeah.
And so one can kind of, you never forget that noise when you hear it the first time. You were like, what the fuck?
Or just any injury. Yeah, when you hurt yourself, you feel, not only do you hear it, you fucking feel it. Like you feel the ugh. I've
been on the field when my teammates, that happened, and they could not get up. Yeah. You cannot get up. Mm-hmm. And so I was on the floor, and I was like, oh, shit. So, Matt, I didn't want to look down because my immediate thought was like my bone came out. Like, there's no fucking way. I know how heavy I am.
Yeah.
I was heavier then. Well, slightly. I didn't want to look down, but I had to just assess myself. I was like, oh, my God, my leg is fine. So naturally, what's the first thing that you
try to get up?
You try to get up.
Test it, yeah.
So I went in, leg immediately went down, and I fell down again. Nope. And I was like, oh, shit. Matt, you feel a certain kind of helplessness when you're laying there in the parking lot 3 minutes after you clock out with a store full of people on Thanksgiving Day and nobody is there to help you. Yes. I was calling my store where I work at.
Not answering?
Not answering because of course they weren't, because they were busy.
They're busy, yeah.
I was calling personally my coworkers. Mm-hmm. I was like, can someone get somebody? Yeah. It wasn't until a lady that was walking out with coffees, she was like, are you okay? And you know me, I'm a prideful guy, maybe to a fault sometimes. I never want to
need the help.
Yes, need the help. Or like when someone reaches out of hands, I'd rather be like, I think I can figure it out by myself.
Yeah.
Matt, I said, I felt like a little kid. I was like, yes, please. And then I started to bawl out.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh my God, what happened? I was like, I don't know. I just can't get up. And then one of my other coworkers came out. Mm-hmm. Like she was leaving for the day and same thing. Are you okay? No. Can you go tell somebody that I can't get up? She went over there. As she was going in, this is where things started to line up for me, at least for that day. There was because, I work at a coffee shop. We get regular police officers that go to get their coffee and everything. And one of them was pulling in. And the lady that had first seen me waved him down. And she was like, he needs help. Yeah. He needs help. And then the cop gets out. He's like, hey, what's going on, son?
The cop?
Yeah, the cop. Damn. And then I was like, I fell and I can't get up. Literally like the infomercial.
Yeah.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah.
And one thing led to another. The firefighters come on. It takes 3 people to help me get up. Two of them to pull me and then one of them to guide me and everything. Mm-hmm. And I'm literally inches away from my car, just to get, all I wanted to do was just to go home, man.
Yeah. It was Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving, and it was the worst because, the first thing that the firefighters, they wanted to call the ambulance. And I was like, whoa, hold on.
You're like, hold on for a second.
I was like, ambulance? Like the thing? They're like, yes, the ambulance. You need to go to the hospital because we don't know what's wrong. You can have, blunt force trauma or whatever. They always go to the worst to prevent everything, right?
Because yes, you could break I think if you break something in your leg and if you don't get it there, is it your femur or there's something in here that like if it breaks, it could like cut an artery or
puncture an artery or something like that. Like internal, you never know.
You gotta just make sure. I get it.
But, I was not in the position to
take on that financial burden.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, I can't afford that. And they were like, well, right now, what's most important is your health and everything. Obviously, that's
true.
Yes.
A $600 bill compared to you being alive. one's infinitely,
Yes,
you know.
but you also have to like you I am not in I don't have the luxury to just be like, yeah, give me that, because I knew that even that was gonna set us back. I knew I was out of work.
Like immediately.
Like I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna lose my job.
But I'm definitely not going to be able to go for a while.
Exactly. And so I was like, I can't. And they're like, well, what do you want to do? And so I wake up my mom by calling her, and then I told her the news. Mom's freaking out. Have to send her money for her to get an Uber and get over here. My mom was freaking out, and then I'm trying to calm her down. They're trying to calm her down. Basically, to make that long story short, we end up getting myself into the car, and then we go to one of the few ERs, or trauma centers that are open.
Open on those days.
And the place was full, obviously, because
why is it? I mean, doesn't matter what time of day you go to the hospital. It's always fucking full.
it is.
It's always packed.
And then, you know, the front people were like really rude to me and everything, and that just made me ball out even more.
Thanksgiving, they're miserable.
Exactly, but the nurses were really cooperative, really nice, and everything. They immediately started to do the scans on me and everything, and then the X-rays, and they ruled out that there wasn't any immediate fracture, and that there was no reason for me to go into emergency surgery.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah,
and
shout out to the nurses, all you guys saving lives. You guys are whores, but you're saving lives, so I guess it evens out. You haven't heard that?
What?
That like the nursing job, like they're the highest, like
yes
when it comes to cheating and infidelity.
Yes. I don't want to go to detail how yes. Yes.
Yeah, just shout out to y'all.
Yes. So if your significant other is in the medical field,
I pray for you.
Just
I pray y'all locked in like this.
Yeah.
Because if not, she gonna be like this. What?
No.
I'm just saying.
Delivering babies and everything. Yeah.
Someone's gonna be like, "Who hurt you? Who hurt you?" No one. I've never dated anyone in the medical field, so
no, me neither.
Yeah,
for a reason. for a reason.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it makes sense though. They spend at minimum 10-hour shifts with each other.
10, 12 hours, but it's not even that. It's just somebody was saying we spoke to somebody about that, like who was like a nurse at a hospital, and they see so many people, firefighters, police officers, the patients that come in, the EMTs that drop them off, the UPS guys that do packages. Like they see so many people.
The snack machines guy.
The vending machine guy, the janitor.
The janitors.
2 local podcasters that happen to be
interviewing people.
Yeah, happen to be interviewing whore nurses.
Tune into next week's episode.
Yeah, so no, it's bad. But at least there was nothing.
Would you broadcast? So here, let me paint you a scenario. Walk with me for a second.
I got you. Okay.
You are expecting a baby, right?
Okay.
Would you broadcast that? How far would you go?
Like live stream it? I'll live stream it.
Would you really?
Yeah.
Like your POV or just the whole thing?
Probably just like if I can get a cameraman to follow me, so I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Yes. But my POV, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be tight.
Is it?
I think that'd be cool. I've never seen that before. I haven't seen that before. I mean, I'm sure right now if I go to YouTube, there's someone that's doing a birthing video
as we
speak. But I'm saying, like, I've never seen a streamer be like, guys, chat, I'm having a baby, live stream tonight at 9 p.m. You know, like.
I don't know if I would want to see that. Don't you think that's like too much?
I mean, sure.
No, but dude, there is like when streamers go into like subathons and everything, where they like stream themselves sleeping.
Yeah, they
and
do,
go taking a shit.
Yeah, they stream everything. So it's like, why not? Like, someone's got to watch it.
Damn. Would you broadcast your life? Like, I would maybe do it for like a weekend.
If I'm getting paid for it.
Make like a reality house?
No, well, if I'm getting paid for it. Like
amateur house?
If you're obviously making a good amount of income for your live streams, it's hard not to. Like if I could put my stream on Twitch and chat would sit there and watch me and they'll send subs while I sleep, who wouldn't do that? Now, would it be recommended? Probably not. Imagine like farting in your sleep or just pitching a tent. You're just laying down. And it's just, you know,
you have to lay sideways all the time.
I have a weighted blanket on me and just kind of like I'll sleep like a coffin, like a vampire.
quick question for you. I know we're going off the rails a little bit, but Streamer University, right?
Yeah.
Big thing. We're late to it, especially when this come out. It's gonna be like
They've already had streamer prom.
Yeah.
They just got done with streamer prom, and we're there. Okay. Can I admit something to you? I applied for it.
I was gonna ask you.
I applied for it.
Did you really?
Why not?
Did you? How was it? Was it just like a?
I'm gonna be real, and this is shout out to Kai and all them. I'm not trying to say this as a hater. I think they had a set amount of people they wanted to pick, regardless of none of the people that they picked were randoms. They were somebody. They were small streamers.
Yeah.
But they were somebody.
They were like personalities.
They made it seem, obviously, for marketing. Like Kai and his team they're great at marketing, right? And clickbait and hooking and stuff like that. So it's like they made it seem like the average Joe can actually apply and you had a chance, but I don't think
it's like the whole Mr. Beast thing where like,
Kinda.
buy my chocolate, maybe you'll be in a video.
But like who's in his videos? It's literally people he knows or people they know. It's the circles, the inner circles.
Yeah.
And realistically, liability wise, I don't think that's a problem because you don't like
want a stranger.
The people he already invited were kind of already wild. Like, you know what I'm saying? Could you imagine getting actual weird people or just someone you don't know? There was almost 1 million people, maybe even more, but there was like 1 million applications.
Yeah.
And I doubt he went through all of them.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
I doubt that his team went through all of them. So I think they had a handful of people they wanted to pick like already. But I applied. I said, fuck it. You never know. Be like the Charlie in the Chocolate Factory type of thing.
Oh yeah,
and you never know that's you miss 100% of the shots you don't take because that one instant right there could change someone's life, and it has. Some of the smaller streamers that did go and they kind of like came back and they doubled their following, you know. So yeah, but I didn't watch the streamer prom though. I watched the clips from it, but I didn't watch the whole.
Was there actually a streamer prom?
No, yeah, there was.
What the fuck?
Yes.
I thought you were. I thought you were beaming. What the fuck?
No, there was an actual streamer prom. They all went to streamer
prom. Queen and King.
Yeah, I don't know who won.
That's crazy.
India Love probably. I don't know. But yeah, like that was.
What?
Yeah, that was her name. That's the girl's name. One of the girls.
Yeah.
India Love.
Something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a streamer prom. I swear.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You opened up a whole floodgate. Homecoming. You know.
Streamer anything.
Graduation.
Streamer reunion.
Reunion 20 years later.
Oh shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know. But shout out to Streamer University. It was entertaining to watch, even though
it was the talk of the town while it was going on
for that week. That weekend. Yeah.
For that weekend, it was crazy.
It was wild. It was pretty cool. And then they did a pool party after that.
Yeah.
I think before the prom, they did the Kai held a pool party.
So, just real quick, just to wrap this up and go back to what we were talking about, there was a lot of like chaotic instances. How much of that do you think was not pre-planned, but you know how like reality shows, producers they nudge you a little bit and stuff.
They have like not a script per se, but they have a plan, like a blueprint of what they want.
Yeah. I'm
sure a big chunk of it was, and then they let people kind of play within that sandbox.
Yeah.
But I think they
you know, I think it's very probable for the big guys like DDG, Agent, and like all those that are like really in the circle. They could have like, I can see them being nudged a little bit and be like that. These
well,
are
the same with like Duke. You know, all of the
Duke
people,
was in it.
Yeah, he was a teacher.
Was he?
So everybody on Kai's team, they were teachers, they were professors.
Yeah.
And then they had the other streamers, but Duke was there, and it's like, again, yes, they don't have a specific script on how people are gonna act.
Yeah.
But they have things that they're gonna do. Like one of them, I think that was not manufactured, but they went to a club. Did you see the clips where they went to the club? They all snuck out and they took
the first night.
I don't know if it was the first
night,
but they took a bus to the club, and then after they came back from the club, and Kai was he's the principal. He's standing out there.
Yeah.
And someone had pointed out saying that Kai gave everybody a chance to clip farm in that instance. That was your time to shine because Kai was taking everyone one by one coming out the bus, and that was your moment to say something funny or create a clip, right? And some people didn't do it. Some people just kind of got off the bus and walked away. Some people, they got into the character.
Yeah.
So like moments like that where I think Kai obviously wanted you to make this a thing? All right, so really quick, going back to your injury, right?
Yes.
Going
So
back
now
to-
we're out of the hospital. I have to inform my job what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, Matt, at this time, I did the immature, juvenile mindset and behavior of, I'm fine, I'm young, I'm strong, I don't need health insurance, I'm not going to get sick.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Came back and bit me in the ass.
You didn't get sick. You got hurt.
Even worse.
Yeah.
Even worse.
Yeah.
Because, like, you don't think that at 22 years old, how old was I? 20? Yeah, it was a week after my birthday. Matt, hold up. Let me rally back real quick. The week prior to, I don't know if it got you, but there was a really bad flu going around. It got my entire store. It got me.
I feel like I got sick around that time.
It
Like
was
a bug?
Yeah, it was so bad. Matt, I haven't been bedridden in like 15 years.
Oof.
I could not get up out of my bed. And I spent my entire birthday week and a little bit after that basically sick. I had 2 days of normal life.
Right.
And then the injury happened. So I felt as though like I was getting just constantly
Literally.
fucked.
Literally.
So, yeah, I had only because I call out a bunch of days. I use my sick days a lot,
Right.
and so 2 days back into work, that happens. I have to let them know, hey, well, I'm going to be out even more. No health insurance. I'm in the process of trying to get health insurance. Thankfully, since it happened outside of my work, my managers and my supervisors and stuff work with me.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, here's the forms and everything that you have to fill out. Here's where you need to call to get you to take a medical leave of absence. Just fill out the paperwork. You have to fill it all out. And it's really like to the T, very fine printy and stuff like that. But just get that done and your job will be safe. She's like, we can give you a month for it to figure out, and then they'll extend some time and everything. They worked with me.
That's good.
Yeah.
At least they did that because some jobs could have just been, or any job could have just been like,
Fuck yeah, fuck
well,
you're a liability
sucks to
now.
suck, yeah.
Yeah. So I am very thankful for that, but that doesn't mean that the process wasn't hell. Like I said,
no, yeah.
like I said, I had to go see a doctor, but I couldn't go see a doctor because I didn't have the money, so I had to go get approved for like the government issue healthcare that they have. But the issue with that, Matt, is since I was not going to be able to work, and since my managers were working with me, I had accumulated roughly around 60-something hours of vacation and sick time.
Shit, yeah.
Pretty good.
Right.
And so we hatched out a plan that we were going to divide that within a 2-month period-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Just like check by check.
Yeah, just to give you some income.
Keep the money flowing. That way it was just enough for the bills and everything. Again, they work with me a lot. But that plan came back to bite me in the ass because when I went to go apply for said government-issued healthcare, I was making too much money for me to receive said healthcare. So the injury happened in November of 2024. And it wasn't until late or mid-January of 2025, after those 2 months and everything, which I was receiving no income, that I could apply and show proper paperwork that I was not getting this money.
Because you have to prove to them that you're not working anymore.
And I would talk to the agents and everything. I'd be like, look, you have to understand my situation. This money, this is not a constant flow of money.
Yeah.
And I can see it in some of their eyes that they felt so bad. But it just comes down to the broken system that we have, dude, that it's just like sucks to suck.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it wasn't until late January that I got I went to a doctor. They ordered an MRI scan. And then I went to go take the MRI scan, and that took forever for them to send it over to the doctors and everything. So I went to the specialist, and then they basically told me what I thought all along, that I had teared my ACL. And then the fear was that the meniscus followed it, because tearing your ACL, it is bad, but the recovery process, it's usually around the 3 month. You're relatively back. When you start to get to the meniscus area and stuff like that, things get a little bit more finicky because basically the meniscus is like our own
like
shock absorbers. And so that needs time to readjust to your body weight, to your lifestyle and everything. And so that extends the amount of recovery time and the pain and everything. So torn ACL, torn meniscus, and MCL kind of had some injury. It wasn't
sprain
anything.
MCL?
Huh?
Was it like a sprain?
It was a tear, but it was a minor tear. It was a minor tear. So that in itself, the body would heal it.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything that they had to worry about. But the ACL tear, dude, was bad. It was basically, it was so bad that there was no salvaging it. They had to in the surgery, because I ended up needing surgery because they suggested that was the best option.
Right.
Because the other alternative was for me to continue. The own body would get used to like the pain and the tolerance and everything as you live. But you're gonna tear away your leg,
or you're just not gonna have stability. I know some of my friends out there who have knee injuries. One of my homies had a pretty catastrophic injury in high school. I think it was ACL, MCL, and PCL. So it's literally front, back, side, and then the meniscus. So it's like sometimes his knee will slip out of place because nothing's holding it there.
That's dangerous.
That's fucking dangerous. So there'll be times where he would fall just because his knee's just not it's not sturdy. So it's bad.
No, literally, Matt, when they did my check, he grabbed my knee and you can literally wiggle it and my bones would hit it. Matt, it hurt so fucking bad because doctors are there to check. They don't really, not that they don't care about your pain levels, but
they
like,
don't care.
Yeah,
my dentist, I was getting teeth pulled, and I was like, I was a kid, so I was like 11. He's like, I'm like, is this gonna hurt? And he goes, not for me. Oh my god, that's what I knew. That's when I knew doctors didn't give a fuck. He said, no, not for me.
Yeah, they just need to do what they need to do, and they're gonna do it safe.
But they need to know if it hurts as well. Like, unfortunately, you're not gonna test your own body limits. Like, you're not naturally like I know it hurts, but they need to do their checks.
Yes.
And unfortunately,
it's gonna hurt. Yeah, and so those checks are the ones that he grabbed my knee that couldn't, because my they gave me a knee immobilizer which kept my knee straight.
Right.
But also my ACL that made my knee bend and everything was completely torn, so I couldn't bend it.
Anyway.
So he literally force bent it all the way it could to where it felt hot. It was so bad.
Yeah.
But basically, just to speed up the process, ended up needing surgery, got the surgery. Everything post-surgery has been
smooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the pain that I had with the initial injury was greater than my pain post-surgery.
Yeah, of course.
I think it was because I was such a prolonged time of me just being in pain that my tolerance went up and just,
No, it's literally the worst, though.
Yeah.
And I sympathize with you because when you said that you were like almost helpless, like when you initially fell, because I had the same thing when I had an injury. It was a rainy day. I tried to jump over a puddle, and because I jumped over the puddle, I landed in the corner of the curb or whatever and rolled my ankle. And same thing, pop, pop, hear the pop, right? And I'm on the ground holding my ankle, and I'm in so much pain, and I can't get up. And it was so bad that I had to crawl home. Like, luckily, I was outside. I was outside my house. I was shooting basketball in the front, and I had to sit on my butt like this, hold my leg in the air so I couldn't, and I had to scoot home.
You crab walk home?
I couldn't even crab walk. I just was scooting. I wasn't crab walking I had to literally push myself, and I got to my door, and as soon as I got to my door, I opened it, and I just laid in the doorway because I couldn't fucking get up, bro. It was so bad. So I can only imagine, that was my ankle. I can only imagine the
Could
knee.
you imagine if you were in the no sidewalk area?
Oh my God. The hyenas would have got me. I'd have been gone. I'd have been missing. It would have picked me up. I felt so bad, bro, because a car was passing by. So I didn't, and I was so embarrassed. I didn't want, because like you, I didn't want them to be. I didn't want to need the help.
Yeah, your pride hits a little bit.
So
yeah.
they passed by, and I'm pretending to tie my shoe. I'm all crying. I'm crying and in pain, and I'm like, and then they pass. I'm like, ah.
And then they slow down when they get to you.
They're like looking, and I'm just like,
hurry up.
Yeah, hurry the fuck up. Oh, it was so bad, bro. It was so bad. So I get it.
No, dude. Speaking about pride, this whole.
Oh yeah, Happy Pride Month.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah. 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 Speaking about ego pride.
Yeah.
This whole experience has been a really humbling.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've had to relearn how to walk entirely, dude.
Yeah.
Not only with this leg, but just walk. I was in a wheelchair for almost 4 months.
Shit.
Like it got to the point where like as soon as the ACL and the meniscus was like on the verge of good enough, the doctor cleared me early because my bones, I was at risk of, if I didn't start walking, I was going to risk them snapping when I started to do PT and stuff like that.
The bone density was
exactly.
Going down. Yeah.
Exactly. And that was very scary. And it's such a, because there's little pain nowadays, dude. It's all up here. Like this happened me just walking.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's been a real up and down journey.
That's scary. But I mean, you're out of it now. I mean, like it just,
Yeah.
It sucks, but you're there.
Yeah, I am in a weird way. I am thankful it happened. Taught me a lot.
Oh yeah.
A lot of patience and things like that. But damn, I really wish it would have came in another way.
Yeah, like you're like, damn, I could have got that lesson somewhere else.
Yeah.
I could have learned how to like crochet or something.
Yeah, literally.
You didn't need to snap my knee up.
Right.
I get it. Oh, that sounds bad. Well, we're glad you're back. I'm glad you're able to just be out the house, man. I know what it's like to have to stay inside and not do anything.
Dude, and you feel helpless because again, not to be on a whole downer. This was just my life. Right now, if I need to go to the restroom, I can get up.
Yeah.
And it'll take me a bit, but I can go.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point where I couldn't. I had to basically actually schedule 3 to 4 times a day when I needed to go to the restroom because it was like a 10-minute thing.
Yeah.
For me to go up and go to the restroom like everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Just to pee.
Literally.
Yeah.
Or dude, don't even get me started on doing number 2
or showering. Just the hassle it is just to hobble around.
Oh,
like I'm telling you, I couldn't do anything with my ankle fucked up, and that was my ankle. It's easy to kind of dangle it and hop around
a little bit.
I can still use my knee to get over stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever, but not like your knee is that crucial part of your whole entire leg that you just without it, you might as well not have a leg.
Yeah, and then the other thing was since the injury happened on my left knee, my right knee getting adjusted to carrying all my weight. Mm-hmm. Oh, bro, it still hurts now.
Yeah, I say it starts to ache and it starts to and then you're at risk of hurting that one. It's fucked up.
It's still like from now like 7 months before I'm able to be back to where I was. Just
Do you plan on like getting to a point where you can squat again or you can
I'm squatting
jump
now.
again?
I haven't jumped.
No.
I haven't jumped, but
do you plan? What I'm saying is, do you plan on doing that? Because I know, like, it's not like me where I play basketball. So, like, my thought is like, how can I get healed? Anytime I got injured, it's always how can I get healed to keep playing, right? But because you're not really playing like that, do you even care to that point?
I want to get to a point where I am more fit and more active than what I was prior to, and I think I'm even at that point now.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Like
for sure.
I'm just working out a lot more, not at the gym or anything. While I'm working out at home, the best that I can, everything on my core strength, on my arms, because naturally I just worked on my arms a lot because of the wheelchair and because of hoisting myself up and having these guys be my stabilizers and everything. Literally. So it was a lot of arm workout to begin with, and I just genuinely I feel better most days than what I did even prior to, minus the injury.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is my goal because I've been on the other side of not being able to do all these things.
Yes.
Now all that I wanted to do is
everything you couldn't do.
Exactly.
It gives you perspective.
Yes.
You don't and I get it because you don't take those things for granted because you do. unfortunately, it's just natural to not even think about anything in your day to day, right? You just expect your body to function the way it functions. But it's like when you're sick. When you're not sick, you don't even think about being sick. Like it's not even in your head. But the minute you're sick, all you think about is how you felt before you got fucking sick. It's the worst. It's the worst. And that stomach bug that you talked about, that hit everywhere. That hit me. I feel like it hit me twice because I work in a doctor's office. So I touch the same papers that some of these patients come in and they're sick and they touch papers, or the MAs, handle these sick patients, and then we share pens, or it's always something. So I've been getting a lot more sick since I've been at this job. It's bad. It's really bad. Sometimes I'm like, fuck, bro, I hate this shit because these patients are sometimes they're gross. Yeah. One lady came in hacking up a lung, and the doctor was like, "What's wrong with you?" And she's like, I got COVID. And then the door shut, and then you could hear him in there go, "Why don't you have a mask?" And she's like, "I don't need it." What? Like the people don't. I don't know, man. So So when you're sick, when you're injured, all you think about is the time that you weren't sick.
Exactly. So literally, and that was such a hump to get over because like you can't think like that.
No,
because
it makes you angry.
It does.
Yeah.
And I'm very prone to being jaded and angry at the world. Mm-hmm. For my own circumstance.
Yeah. And for whatever happens. I get it. We all do that.
And I had to get into my head that there was things that I could still control even though I felt helpless. Yeah. And
then because I've been around sports my whole life, I can only frame it in a sports way. But yeah, like a lot of the times it's just mental. Like yes, the physical injury is its own hurdle, but just like your outlook, like keeping positive in that time is hard. It's really hard to have an injury, an active injury, and you still think like, okay, everything's gonna be okay, because it doesn't feel like that. And like you said, your whole entire world got flipped upside down. You can't do anything by yourself. You can't walk. You can't jump. You can't move. Probably couldn't even sleep comfortably. If you wanted to turn on your side, you had to move your whole leg, and even then, I couldn't. When my ankle was fucked up, I couldn't even do that. I don't.
You're literally describing my life. I couldn't. Mm-hmm. I couldn't do anything without any sort of pain or discomfort, physically. But then it went mentally because I was like every little thing that I used to be able to do that kept me sane, that kept me happy, now has been ripped away from me, all because something happened in a matter of seconds. Yeah. You know, I've
a misstep. All it was a misstep. If you don't even step on that thing, if you just step over it and get into the gravel, you go inside, get your apron, get your shit. You go home for Thanksgiving. This isn't even a thing.
It's not. Or if I just would have
not been in a hurry,
Matt. If I just would have slowed down, because we haven't even got to this part of it, and I don't want to ramble for too much on this thing, but before this happened, a lot of you guys don't know because this was a lot of like behind the scenes and stuff, but I was just on a go. Mm-hmm. I had not stopped since
probably when we started the podcast. At least that's when, like 2 years ago. I've been getting memories, and like I got a memory of the first day we were at that coffee shop. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, since because no, a little bit before it's when I got my second job. I was doing both. I was doing both, and then the podcast started, and then that added, and so I was just running on fumes for so long, and like I said, life is an interesting thing because it's gonna force you to do the thing that you don't want to do, which is slow down and really appreciate and come to terms with a lot of things in your life. There was many nights, dude, where I was just there feeling sorry for myself. And it's when I realized how jaded I was in life. And even still now, I'm not even saying this as a person like, oh, I've overcame it or anything. So like, no, I'm still, this is like a lifelong thing, unfortunately. And I hate it, but it's like I am so jaded. Everything is just mundane. I go to work because I need to. Mm-hmm. I work to pay bills. I don't really enjoy life. I'm just going through the motions. Yeah. I'm like, we were doing this that is supposed to be the thing that I love, but I'm like, even that is turning into something
mundane.
Yes.
It was becoming work.
Yeah.
And anytime work sucks. So anytime something's work, it sucks.
Yeah, it was like that feeling of being at work was just my life basically.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I really don't know how it even, it kind of sucks a little bit more now because now I'm aware of this.
Yeah.
But now I just don't have the answers.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that's also a good thing because you don't need to have the answers. You just need
No.
to.
Well, you got to remember that this lesson you're learning is a lifelong lesson in like progress. Like you're not going to your initial injury is going to show you what you need to see, but you're only 8 months into it. You're not going to get the full lesson. Like
I'm a baby into it.
You're gonna grow from it, but by the time you're 25, by the time you're 26, 27, by the time you're 30, you'll have a different perspective, and you'll sit there and go, "Damn, like yeah, when I this first happened, this is how I felt, but now I've had an injury after that, and I'm equipped better to handle it." That's all it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're just kind of leveling up every time. So because every time this happens, now it's not as life ending.
Mm-hmm.
After
or dude. I look back in moments of football, specifically. For some reason, I have looked so much at my football days throughout this because of the pain. And, dude, PT is grueling. Like,
Yeah.
it is not, it's not fun.
Nope.
It's fun afterwards. I think it's worse than working out. Because when you're working out, like,
you're doing it for a purpose.
Yeah.
It's to grow your muscles. You're doing it for you, and it does feel good because you're not injured. Like,
yeah,
you know,
like I think in PT you have to just drop your pride to the floor because again, when I work out, I'm like an ego lifter or in every sense because I know I can fucking do this, you know? And it's like when I'm in PT, I'm like, no, I have to humble myself.
Yeah, I can't do this. This is why I'm here.
Literally.
Yeah.
So it's been really grueling for me. And also just the things that they have me do. I cannot explain to you the amount of people that go in that have my same injury and will blatantly refuse to do the exercises and everything that they're telling them to do for their own good.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Like, yeah, there was a video of a physical trainer office, and they were filming one of their clients, and the trainer has her do lunges, and then he goes, "Okay, do them," and he turns around, and she's doing them, and then he's not looking, so she got up and she walked really fast to the end, and then they panned the camera, and the trainers, they're watching, they caught her, they're making her watch the footage, so they pan to both of them, and the trainer's just like this, and the girl's all embarrassed because she doesn't want to fucking do it. It's there for her own good, but she doesn't want to do it.
You're only cheating yourself, dude. And it's like I've thankfully I learned discipline on the field, and every time that I've gone through this whole process in PT of that I don't want to do this, that this is excruciating pain, especially those first couple of sessions when all I'm doing is just testing how far I can go.
You're just strength levels, stretch levels,
everything. Oh, don't even get me started on getting because obviously your leg is going to be stiff.
Oh yeah,
getting that flexibility back. Oh my God, it's one of the worst pains I've had in my life, and it's just like I just think back of like, just focus on the one that you're doing now, and that my coach always told me to always do an extra one just in case I did one. I didn't do one right leading up. So like, let's say I'm doing 20, reps, right? Mm-hmm. It was always installed to me to always go for 21, 22.
Yeah.
Because somewhere along the line, I probably half-assed one.
Yeah.
And
I've always had that same thing, but there was a coach that said, there was like a star player on one of the teams, and the best player, and he would always do 5 extra suicides. Mm-hmm. And everyone would be like, "What the fuck are you doing that for?" And the coach was like, "I'm telling you to do 20 so you could just be good. Like, he wants to be great, so he's doing more, and that's just what it is, you know." So sometimes it's like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, sometimes you do cheat yourself, so do a couple extra ones just in case you did, kind of make up for that. So
yeah. So, but yeah, now we're here, and now we're talking, and now I know we've talked a lot of behind the scenes and everything, and now we're just having an episode like we used to.
Yeah.
Back in the old days when we were just chatting.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much a show. Yeah. Although I still want to continue to do that because it's really fun.
No, for sure.
Really entertaining.
We want this to be better and better every episode, but we wanted to just and you specifically. Not that I didn't want to, but when you hit me up and you're like, "Fuck it, let's just record." That's just what it comes down to. Is like just record, like just make the content that you want to make before that motivation's gone. Because that motivation comes and goes. Like it's so fickle. Like it.
Motivation is fickle.
Yeah, you can't rely on that.
Discipline is what sticks people.
There you go. Because you can't rely on motivation because one day you're more motivated than the other. You know. So we just wanted to kind of get back to just having like a regular episode where we kind of chat, and it's more of a catch up. I feel like this is our third catch up video. I think we've had 2 videos before this where it's like we took a break, and then there was one that's titled "We're Leaving" or something. You know, like there was that one.
Oh, the season finale.
I think that one.
Yeah, where we were just.
But we take breaks in between that. You know.
Yeah.
So then this is our break that we're kind of doing a catch up episode.
Yeah.
So.
How did you feel between that break of like not recording or like all this thing?
Obviously for you personally, I sympathized what you were going through because I know it wasn't easy, and even without all the details, because I didn't know any of these details that he told you guys. I didn't know any of them until 2 weeks ago. I felt like it was not in a bad way because it's your personal information, so you don't have to tell me nothing, but. I asked you a few times, like, how did this happen? And you never expanded. And I'm sure at the time you don't even want to fucking talk about it. So that's why I never pushed it. But there was 2 times where I was
literally
like,
the reason.
What happened? Like, how did this even fucking happen? And
you were good the other day. What do you mean?
Yeah, and you were just like, I'll tell you some other time. You know, it's like, okay, like not in a bad way, but it's just the fact that I didn't know what was going on. So within this time frame that you were gone, it was humbling for me too in terms of like this, because I told you, getting that one episode I got by myself was hard. Like I had to record it 3 times, and then having to set everything up by myself, and having to edit it and come up with the thumbnail, and I didn't know how to plug the intro in. I didn't even have the intro files, so there was no intro. Like that was humbling in itself. But as far as like you, I was just hoping that it was not as catastrophic as it was. You know, I was hoping that it was just more of a sprain or something that wasn't so dire.
That's what everybody was hoping
for,
and telling me, because obviously why wouldn't you? But I don't know. Maybe it's the pessimist in me, because I am definitely a glass half empty. Half of the glass is
empty.
Yeah, I have half of a glass. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Glass half full means
half
positive. Glass half empty means you're looking at it how much is gone, as opposed to looking at how much is actually in there.
Huh?
The full.
No, yeah, but
roll the intro. No, but yes, you were looking at things in the negative light.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was saying before that. I generally think I'm not used to talking this much or hearing myself again.
Yeah. I mean, I've been fine tuning my skills back on like streaming. In this time, I've been trying to stream a lot more, just because I just needed to do something, and this is hard. This is hard to do, especially by yourself. Mainly because it's hard talking to yourself. Like you make your own videos, so you know, but your videos are very narrative. You know, like you're telling a story, as opposed to mine is like I'm having a conversation with myself now.
Yeah. So if I could talk about my videos for a second, this is why
no free promo.
This is why this medium has been so difficult for me, because my videos are so planned out.
Yes.
Almost to, I don't want to call them fake. I look at my videos, specifically the most recent one that I released and the one that I'm currently working on, as interpretations of my life.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like we're used to seeing a vlog as like literally what is going on in your life. Sure, you might heighten some things up for the vlog and everything, but this is like real life, what's going on, right? Almost like a reality show.
Yeah.
But I think a forum and a medium that I am I have fallen in love with is I take personal stories of my life and, like you said, create a narrative around that.
Yes.
This video that I'm working on now is the first video where I am introducing arcs
Oh.
in my video.
Okay.
You know, playing around more of like actual narrative storytelling, and it's just really nice, and that is what I'm used to. I am used to recording voice lines and everything and stuff, but everything is much more methodical, planned out. You know, I
Yeah.
follow a script and everything, and that's you. Me saying this to you wouldn't surprise you because
No.
of the amount of pre-plan and everything that I do for even this medium that really doesn't need it. Like, sure, it makes it better,
Yeah.
to some degree, but like that's why it's been so. I don't think I've even doing it as long as we have. I don't really think I've actually let myself just fully get into the podcasting realm because I'm so used to the other side. You know.
Mm-hmm. And we're so opposite because I'm very comfortable in a live setting. And a lot of people will tell me, even people like close to me, they'll be like, I don't know how you do that. Like, I don't know how you don't slip up and embarrass yourself. And it's like, sometimes you
Say
do,
a
right?
slur.
Yeah, or, be racist,
Yeah.
But like, sometimes you do. Like, sometimes you do slip up or
You
sometimes
do?
yeah, sometimes you do be racist. Sometimes
You
are
should have
racist.
to.
You just have to be. No, but I come from that medium of live streaming where it's kind of just on the fly. Like, it's not so scripted. I don't have a script when I go live. Like,
Yeah.
like it's not, I don't, which again, I think pooling a little bit of each is good. I think having a stream where you have a blueprint is nice. And then having a medium where you need to come over here and not being so scripted is also nice as well.
It is nice because like you, I don't know the words for it, but it's just two different styles of medium, and they both work.
Yeah.
I think a happy middle is when they're both infused. It's like in movies, you know, the best visuals in movies is when practical and CGI are used to make something come to life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you lean too much on one and lean too much on the other, that's when it gets a little. Ugh.
Yeah. No, I get it. So it's just so different. It's just a different realm. But like having to do this alone was very humbling.
Mm-hmm.
Because now doing it like this is so much easier just to talk to someone. It's hard to talk to the camera by yourself and make it a conversation that's not like a narrative video. Like this, you're sitting down and
I can imagine
you're trying to appeal. Like one of the criticisms that I got for the last episode was like working on connecting with the audience more instead of just reading what you're doing and going through it, which is fine. But like, it's supposed to be a conversation. Like you guys are supposed to be sitting right here. That's the angle we're going for. You're supposed to be with us.
Yeah.
Instead of me just reading something to you. It was humbling. It was humbling. So, and it does not feel like it was 8 months. It does not feel like it was that
for
long.
me.
For you, it felt like it was 16. For me, it felt like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Matt, within these last couple of 8 months, I'm sure we've had our fair share of bad days.
Yeah.
But can we take a second to laugh at someone else's bad day?
By all means, let's do it.
So, I hopped on Reddit,
Okay.
as I sometimes do with these videos, and I think that we should staple a new segment, maybe weekly, who knows, of what's up with Reddit.
What's up with
What
Reddit?
is up with Reddit? This week, I have a neat little story. My cousin constantly has sex in the same room as me, and it's making me uncomfortable. Now, what do you think this story is about?
I don't know. Obviously, I think this person's cousin's having sex with them in the room, and it's making
With
them
them?
uncomfortable. with them present in the room, and it's making them uncomfortable.
What's worse? If your cousin is having sex with you, or just you being there and not a part of? Almost like like you're almost being cocked in a way.
It's like a third wheel, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I have to watch and listen now.
Yeah,
It-
well, you
but
don't have to
it's-
watch.
but
watching is a choice.
Oh yeah, I have to listen. You don't have a choice in listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it? I think the cousin aspect of it is better than what it could be.
Sure.
A sibling.
I also
would
think that
suck.
like how far removed, because we don't get any specifications, but I think how far removed the cousin is determines the
better.
severity.
If it's like your third cousin.
That you see once a year, then you're like, oh, it's basically a stranger.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We can have sex almost.
That one I that one I might watch.
Yeah.
You know? It's not that weird. Anything past that, yeah. Or
anything closer, you're like, all right.
It's getting a little weird. Thanksgiving's gonna be a little awkward.
Ooh, my cousin is staying with my family until Christmas this year, as she is saving up money to live on her own. Her and I share a tiny room with little to no privacy. So I'm always very cautious of what I do and when I do it. Our room is the furthest away from the main area of the house, so nobody ever really bothers around the area or really knows what's going on. With it being the furthest room away, that happens to be very bad news for me, but great news for my cousin and her boyfriend, Mike. Name drop.
Damn, Mike.
See, Mike and my cousin love to play this game of who can have the louder sex while my cousin is asleep only feet away from us and can literally hear everything. And at 2:46 a.m., when the painful screeches of sex wake me up, I never know if I should run out the room or pretend like I can go back to sleep after that. What would you do?
I don't know. It's guy code. So if it was my guy cousin and his girl, you can't cock block. Like, you can't. I'm not going to be like, hey, shut it down. Because that's fucked up. He's getting some coochie.
Yeah.
But, like, at least let me, I don't know.
Could you cough block? Like,
I just start shitting on myself. What if I just start farting all crazy? That would kill the mood.
That would.
I'll pretend like I'm asleep and just let out the fucking just rip ass. There's no way. They're gonna be like, oh hell no. There's no way. You have to kill it. And I could be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was asleep.
I didn't know. You were doing what?
What happened? Elephant? No, I had chili dogs last night. I'm so sorry.
That noise. I don't know if it was the best or worst noise I've heard on this podcast.
I know you heard a fart like that. Everyone's asshole's been closed to where they try to let a fart out.
Dude,
like that.
Have you ever done the spread method? I used to try to do this at school all the time and always failed. You know when you scoot up to this side of the chair and then you try to just.
I always do the cough method.
Oh, that's even worse.
I try to do it at the same time, but you gotta be precise.
Yeah.
Because if one's off a millisecond, yeah, game over. So I don't know. I try to do something like that. I don't know. That's so bad.
I've reached a point where I have now talked to my cousin about this awkward situation. And I wish it ended at that. Because her response of me not understanding the thrill of getting caught didn't make it better.
Yeah. But you're not you're
in the room.
You're caught.
Yes.
You're caught.
So it doesn't make sense.
You're caught. I got you. I saw you.
Yeah. The game is rigged from the start.
Some people, bro. Realistically, I would not want to hear my cousin clapping cheeks. If it was a one-off time, whatever, right? Like, it happens. You try to be slick with it. But realistically, if this was happening regularly, where we're in the same room and you
even one time, Matt, the way he's describing it's full on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but and I don't mean to have this, like, I don't even want to say this because I feel like it's just TMI, but like, my household.
Where is this going?
My household. Let's just say that my parents they did not hide when they were getting down. So I have been traumatized as a kid, having to hear things that you should not hear from your parents, let alone a cousin. So I think that's why I give the cousin more grace, because that's a whatever.
Yeah.
I've already heard the worst of it from my own parents.
Have you ever walked in on?
No. You didn't have to. You couldn't walk in because you heard it from a mile away. You knew not to go over there. It wasn't a secret. Walking in's like, oh, let me go check my laundry. No, this was like, oh shit.
You're willing going into.
I'm trying to. Yeah, that's like running into gunfire. I'm not a superhero. What am I, Spider-Man? Hell no. Hell no.
I am now an unwilling participant in my cousin's kink, and Mike had the audacity to share his disappointment and the fact that I should be embarrassed of being such a prude.
She should be embarrassed.
No, Mike told the guy.
Oh, it's a guy cousin.
It's a guy.
I
cousin.
thought it was a girl.
No,
cousin.
no, it's a girl cousin.
I thought they both were girls.
Who's both girls?
I thought the cousins were both women, and Mike was the guy.
It could be.
I don't know. I assumed they
Didn't
were girls.
specify.
Oh, either way.
But either way, Mike tells person,
Uh-huh.
being in this case me reading the story,
Mhm.
how dare I be a prude
In my own room.
in your own room. Cousin is staying there in sharing a room with me, which why?
I don't know.
There is a living room,
I guess you don't have a
Right?
bedroom. You don't have a guest room.
a guest bedroom. Maybe that is the guest bedroom, but still, that's weird.
I'd be mad. Like I'd be appalled that someone would tell me that.
Yeah.
You don't get it. You're being a prude.
A prude.
Hmm?
What does that
What
mean?
does that mean? Just 'cause I don't want you moaning in my room while I'm trying to
No,
sleep.
I genuinely don't know what that means.
What, prude?
Yeah.
Oh. You're like, what does that mean? Yeah, I don't get it. No, physically. What is that?
Like what is? I don't know what you're
is the
saying.
definition of that?
How do you spell it?
Prude.
Yeah, that's actually how.
Prude.
I want to think it's a double O.
Yeah.
I hate
No.
English.
The crudes.
Yeah.
No, the prude.
The
no.
prude. So he asked, I seriously don't know what to do. Any advice? What advice would you give this lovely person? If this was your friend.
I would call that cousin's parents and just let them hear what's going on.
Oh, so like set up the phone?
Yeah, once they start, I would just call
Yeah.
and then just lay the phone there.
How would they know it's them? What if they're just
I'm
playing?
gonna FaceTime them and be like, "This is what your daughter's doing.
And this is every
Oh.
night.
She's being a hoe."
Yep.
No, I don't know.
That's crazy. Do a whole PowerPoint presentation?
I would move her stuff out of my room.
Yeah?
I wouldn't let her back in my room. Fuck no. After talking to her about it or talking to them about it, right? If it was my cousin in this situation,
What if
I said that
you start having sex with them just to combat, and it becomes like a like
I'm
a
just gonna
Hungry
have-
Hippos
I'm
type
gonna-
thing?
I'm just gonna have
Who's-
louder sex.
Yeah,
I'm
louder
just gonna-
sex.
I'm just gonna bring someone and
Yeah.
have louder sex.
And what up, Mike? Look at him as you're having sex. Be like, this
Mm-hmm.
prude me?
Just direct eye contact
yeah.
while you're just
You
like,
spell prude, bitch.
yeah,
You know?
literally. I don't know. Honestly, I would just be straight up and
Or have sex with Mike louder.
oh my god, show Mike how it's done.
Yeah. No, but genuinely.
I don't know. Like I said, if you're asking for like practical wise, I would get petty. I'd be mad. Especially after, like I said, just realistically after confronting them and they still not get it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta
Slap
fight
to
them
the
at that
face.
point.
Yeah,
you gotta fight
slap
them
to
at
the
that
face.
point.
And it seems like it's like a multiple instance thing.
Yeah, like it's happening multiple times throughout the week.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you do it when I'm not there?
Yeah.
Or I would be completely fine with you asking me to leave.
Sure.
Like, but again, I get it. If it's 2 a.m. and you're trying to, you're having some sleep sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not gonna wake someone up and be like, "Hey, get out."
Sleep
But-
sex? Like when you're asleep?
You've never like woken up and kind of like,
While you're sleeping? That's a skill I haven't acquired. I'm not down that.
I used to sleepwalk. No, but I'm saying like, you've never. I don't know. There's some couples will wake up in the middle of the night for a quickie.
yeah.
So that, of course, it's not planned. But like, if you're blatantly having this like interaction, tell me so I could just not be there.
Yeah.
I'll go do something.
Yeah.
I'll go sit in the restroom for 45 minutes. I do that anyway.
Sure, yeah. Just let me know. Be like, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you stop that. If talking to them already like isn't gonna change anything.
Yeah, no, it's just being in the same room. I can only imagine. Only feet away, actually. It's crazy.
That's horrible. It's gross.
It's like a bunk bed. Could you imagine?
It's all dripping.
It's
It's all dripping.
you're like,
Ugh. Yeah, it's all thick. You're like, ugh.
Mike.
Who is this? I don't know. That's gross. That is hella gross. And I think you'd have to fight your cousin at that point.
Yeah.
If it's 2 girls, you're fighting. If it's 2 guys, you're fighting.
Yeah.
If it's a girl, I don't know. Like I said, I'm fighting Mike. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something.
Well, Matt, that's all I have for you.
All right, bye. No, just kidding. Try again.
All right, Matt, that's all I have for today.
Oof.
Honestly, just okay. We all know that the world is a scary place at the moment. Very scary. But you know, that's essentially why I wanted to start doing this back up, to provide you guys with entertainment and to at least for the hour or change that we have with you, for you to just, you know, be happy. Hopefully we can do that for you. I do want to share a little story. About like 10 years ago now, my parents went through a very horrible divorce. You know, I lost my childhood home, and everything that I ever loved just went to shit. And it was basically the first time in my life where I felt utterly helpless and I couldn't do anything. And nothing I ever did basically mattered because it was just out of my hands. And that's very reminiscent to how a lot of us feel now. But it was through media like YouTube, like shows and everything, that I slowly started to turn that piece of my brain off.
Yeah.
You still live with it. You know, I think we all kind of live this life just being a little sad. But that's okay. And that's what I want to do and hopefully have achieved today, is just provide you guys with some entertainment.
Yeah, no, like he said, the world. For my own mental state, I dismiss a lot of stuff. Not that I dismiss it, but you know, I'm getting to that age where it's like you see the memes where it's like millennials going through their 7th, you know, end of the world crisis or something, right? Because that's what it is. Like growing up, it's always something. But with being on the verge of World War III, and we don't know what that means. For all we know, it's just going to be another drawn-out war where, you know, wasn't it not too long ago where like all of the troops finally got out of
Yeah.
like the Middle East,
Mhm.
right? And that was a big like accomplishment at the time. And now we're just sending them back. Like it wasn't long after that. So with everything just kind of like looking scary, I think the message I wanted to tell everyone is that fear mongering is a real thing. Propaganda is a real thing. So a lot of this is to get everyone scared
And riled up.
Yeah. And although it is scary, like Angel said, there's some stuff that we just can't control. If they're going to nuke us into the oblivion, then like there's nothing we could do. Like there's nothing that there's
Which is, let me just clarify, it's not that likely,
it's not.
you know?
But that's where people's brains go though.
And that's what a lot of people feed into. So just be wary of the media that you do let into your life.
Mhm.
You know, we can only control ourselves and our lives in this world. So do yourself a favor. Maybe just keep yourself informed, but at a cautious level, and be cautious because you also don't want to get caught with your pants down.
No, for sure. Be
And-
prepared, have some water, you know, have a plan. Have a plan with your family members, right? And this is not me saying something's going to happen, but I think COVID taught us that, you know, you need to just be prepared because you don't know when. I mean, everything shut down so fast with COVID. It shut down so fast. And I always tell the story where 2 weeks before everything shut down, I went and stocked up on like 4 or 5 things of water. Not even because of any reason. It was just we were out of water. I got 4 or 5 of them. And then when everything shut down, we went back to the stores and there was no water. Luckily, we still had some. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's just things like that. Like, just have a plan, but don't feed into the fear mongering. And if there's the theme of this episode, I think is just perspective or just being humbled, right? Like, stay humble. Like, just appreciate everything.
I can even take it like a step more than that. Just take it day by day.
Yeah.
You can't worry about the big picture because we don't know the big picture.
We're not in control of that picture.
Unfortunately, we're in control of ourselves.
Yeah.
You control clicking on this video and hanging out with us for an hour. on our reunion episode. So,
So, like I said, if you take anything from this episode, it's just appreciate life and appreciate the small things, because just like Angel's ligaments, things can be ripped away at a moment's notice, you know? I'm just saying, you know, I'm just saying, perspectively.
That's so so morbid.
I had
That's
to.
so morbid.
There was a part, you said something earlier in the episode, and I was going to make a joke, and I was like, nah, let's not do that one. I had to do that.
You should have, just as a little callback.
I didn't want to, it's me. It wasn't bad. It was just, anyway, appreciate every day that you got, and don't worry too much, right? And we'll see you guys in the next one. Boom, 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 boom. No,